We now understand this problem. We know how to stop the number rising and put it in reverse. We must recapture billions of tons of carbon from the air.
And we've made huge progress on coal, cars, cash and trees. For the first time ever, we've got over 190 countries all agreeing to sound the death knell for coal power. To sound the death knell for coal power.
You know, coal was foisted on India. You foisted coal on us. You were the ones that came and made us coal dependent. And then you left, and now you dare to condescend to us. When I listen to Boris Johnson, when I listen to people like Joe Biden, when I listen even more to Emmanuel Macron, all I can think of is how condescending you are. You condescended to us 400 years ago. You condescended to us 300 years ago. You condescended to us 200 years ago. You condescended to us 100 years ago. You're condescending to us today.
But the great news is, together, the world has made some important breakthroughs.
We're going to have to learn together how to achieve this.
You signed the Rio Formula in 1992 on common and differentiated responsibilities. You like the common part. You like the common part. You like to say we're all in this together and so on. We're not in this together. The United States, 4-5% of the world's population, still uses 25% of the world's resources. There's the permanent condition of the colonial mentality. You want to lecture us. You want to tell us that we are responsible for all the problems because you'll never accept that you're the one principally to blame. You love lecturing us because you have a colonial mentality.
Thank you for tuning in. This is Ratna. You are watching Empire Diaries. What is this climate change crisis that the whole world is suddenly worried about? It's a crisis for whom, to be precise? A crisis for the planet? A crisis for 3 billion people who don't know what they will eat tonight? A crisis for 2/3 of the world population stuck in the daily cycle of low-paid jobs? A crisis for 2 billion people living and dying in slums like India's Dharavi, Kenya's Kibera, Mexico's Neza? A crisis for migrants who are kicked out of the cities due to lockdowns? Let's try to answer these questions. First, is it a crisis for the planet? It is sheer hubris and insane stupidity for human species to think that the planet will be completely destroyed because of human-induced climate change. The Earth is 4.5 billion years old. Changes to the climate are as old as the planet itself. Climate change is a natural cycle happening for millions and millions of years before we came here. Global cooling and global warming in long natural cycles are what give the Earth's atmosphere its character. If anything is really going away, it is going to be us, humans. The planet will not perish, but we will. The damage that we humans have managed to do is limited to our immediate environment. We screwed up local weather patterns and the air cover in congested cities. We removed large patches of forests to satisfy the furniture and real estate industries. We choked many rivers dry by building dams. We left stinking hills of trash for vultures to feed on. Folks in smoggy cities are, I can't breathe because of pollution, not racism. We blocked the skyline in the cities with sophisticated slums called skyscrapers. We tested over 1,000 nuclear bombs on the excuse of scientific advancement. The vast majority of the Earth's surface is still undisturbed. It is welcoming climate change in routine million-year cycles, just like we have our own seasons. Trek around the world where humans don't live in a congested mess, or closely study satellite visuals of the Earth's surface. You will realize how inconsequential we humans are compared to this gigantic planet. Even in our most dangerous form, we humans are specks of dust. Next question is climate change a crisis for 3 billion hungry people out there? Walk into the underpass ghettos in what the colonial West enjoys calling third world. Ask the people in the ghettos if they worry about the changing climate and the future of the planet. What climate change? What future? For them, crisis means looking for leftover food to survive the day. Crisis for them is going from one trash can to another, looking for discarded clothes as the winter arrives. Crisis for them is walking miles after miles to find a construction gig. Their worries are about now, about today, about the present. It's about food on the table tonight for these people who are cool subjects of aesthetic photography, funded documentaries, and beautifully written inequality reports. Worry about the future is a luxury. When someone's present is jacked, to ask them about the future is to insult them, to humiliate them. To open a scientific discourse with them about global warming is to kick them on the chest. What about the South Asian and Southeast Asian sweatshop girls who are underpaid, overworked, and often exploited? What about the residents of the slums in Dharavi, Kibera, Neza? What about the jobless migrant workers? Can you really look into their eyes and ask them this question? Are you worried about climate change? Are you worried about the planet's future? Only if we want to insult them.
And let me tell you something, the climate justice movement, not clued enough on this, not clued enough on this. The climate justice movement is a movement that says we're worried about our future. What future? What future? Children in the African continent, in Asia, in Latin America, they don't have a future, they don't have a present. They're not worried about the future, they're worried about their present. Your slogan is, we're worried about the future. What future? That's a middle-class bourgeois Western slogan. You got to be worried about now. 2.7 billion people can't eat now. And you're telling people, reduce your consumption. How does this sound to a child who hasn't eaten in days? You got to clue into this, guys. You got to clue into this. Otherwise, this movement will have no legs in the third world. No legs. Later, I'd like to tell you about the International People's Assembly, a network of 200 political organizations that we're setting up, rooted in the global south. We want to tell you what our issues are, but are you willing to listen?
These people don't live on the margins of society. They are right at the center of it. Shouldn't the spotlight fall on their emergencies first? There are multiple immediate emergencies in their lives: rising hunger and poverty, escalating income inequality, unprecedented drop in real income, growing joblessness, and a constantly miserable standard of living. They are problems of the present, not the future, but you don't see this perspective on primetime TV, in social media, and on newspaper front pages. Instead, you are told to worry about climate change and the future of the planet. Who is this crisis for really? It is for the folks up there, the residents of the ivory tower, folks who are well-to-do, well-serviced, assets-owning, financially safe, militarily insulated, highly educated, and socially refined.
We are already in trouble.
As the saying goes, some individual's crisis can be another individual's luxury. A wealthy food expert's concerns about the lack of stylish boutique tea houses in Lutyens, Delhi cannot be imposed on a beggar on the streets of Old Delhi. Up there, when they worry about things like climate change, terrorism, coronavirus, Ukraine, Brexit, for example, we should also worry about them, even if They're out of place. This is colonialism of fear. The colonial era is formally over according to textbooks and shallow mainstream narratives. But Western colonialism continues today by other means through this artificial imposition of emergencies. Climate change is only a superimposed colonial emergency. Thank you for watching. For more insightful stories, you can log on to our website empirediaries.com. Do follow us on social media, on Twitter and on Facebook. Do subscribe our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you will get updated whenever we publish a story. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, stay informed.